New Zealand RSA, Bob Hill and his wife, our newly appointed patron for the Regular Force Cadet Association, Bob Davies and his wife, ex-cadets, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Fantastic to see such a big crowd of people here tonight. I feel very privileged to be invited to be the dining president for this evening. I did preside over a lot of formal dinners when I was in the military, but this one is much more special to me because you are the guys who are the favoured few, and I heard them talk quite a bit over the last couple of days about the favoured few. I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank the organising committee and congratulate them on a wonderful job that they have done. We are led by our patron Bob Davies. We have got Mr. Facebook, Gordon Forrester. We have Major Retired Kelvin Hawley. We have Major still behaving himself in the military, Dave Ackroyd. Unfortunately, Dave couldn't be here tonight because his father has recently passed away. We also have Roger Newth, who most of you will know as our Treasurer Secretary. He also is unable to be here tonight because he has come down with some virus today. It's a very special weekend for all of us, I think. Not only are we celebrating our 70th, but it is, as you know, Armistice Day tomorrow. The civilians have taken over the running of the Armistice show tomorrow, and therefore a lot of military flavour is missing from it, and the explanation, as I understand it, is that this celebration or remembrance ceremony is for everybody in New Zealand, civilians and everybody. The only thing that really affects us, I guess, is they're not laying wreaths this year. But as a special dispensation, we have been given the opportunity to lay a wreath tomorrow, immediately following the conclusion of the armistice ceremony. So we will do that, and I think many of us will have an opportunity then to just think back on the ex-regular force cadets who have fallen since 1948. And there have been quite a few because there have been a number of conflicts that ex-cadets have been involved with. So that's about it. I've been told that this is not a formal dining evening. I don't think many of us would remember how to be too formal at a diner. I have been told I have to tell some jokes, so I better get and sit down and try to think a few up that I can talk to you about. But in the meantime, I guess we'll just get on with our meal and take it all from there. Thank you.
Well done, Mr. Chief. Just a bit of housekeeping, guys. In the event of emergency, there's an exit over there and one you came through. If you don't know how to get out of here, hard luck. You're all cadets. That's about it. Have a good night. Oh, there's another bar out where the cafe is.
In the summer, for I would disappear. He said the swamp would swallow me like all them sheeps and cattle. My bony bits would marry theirs and never even rattle. I laughed away that ghostie's curse when we was back in base, until today when Sarge, he said, with malice on his face, "You lot is slack and need a run. Stay off the smokes and beer. Tomorrow sharp at Sparrow's Fart, we head for Namatea." I wish I'd never talked nor seen the ghost of Abbasia. Tomorrow I'll be drowning in that swamp at Namatia. Thank you.
And so they went off to one of the other schools to grab a warrant officer to come and run the orderly room. This warrant officer was a new warrant officer, had only been posted into Waihuru very recently, and he lined up the prisoner and the escorts in that corridor outside the CO's office, and then he brought them attention: quick march, left wheel, left wheel, mark time, halt, left turn. And then the CO read out the charges, listened to the pretty weak excuses the fellow had, and he awarded the guy 14 days detention. And he said to the RSM to march him out. So the RSM says the left turn, by the front, double march, right wheel, left wheel, reached behind him, pulled the door open, and the accused and the escorts disappeared into the broom cupboard. What I had said to Bob Davies before I came down here was, I must check out where the toilets and everything are. I know what it's like not to do a recce before you get to do things. Anyway, what I'd like to do now is introduce the Minister, the Right Honourable Ron Mark. Thank you.
Oh shit. Inga mana, inga reo, inga nahau e whā, tēnā koutou katoa. No mai haere mai ki te hui nei, haere mai ki te 70th anniversary since the inception of the regular force cadet school. Ki te mihi ki te whare tupuna, and I refer to this place as a whare tupuna because it houses many of the artefacts that belong to a number of the tribes to which I belong. Among them particularly Ngāti Porou, Ngāti Raukawa, Te Arawa, and Ngāti Kahununu. And I don't mean to denigrate Rangatani or my whakatohia or Ngāi Tahu connections, but if I keep going, I'll own half of most of the country. And I'll stop there. Ke te mihi i te Papa Tuanuku, and ke te mihi ki te hunga mate. And I guess it's at that point I'd just like to acknowledge all of those whose names are running through my head right now, and no doubt yours, who are no longer with us. And sadly, from my own class of 71, Upham class, sadly there are too many of those names. And even from my senior class, Ngarimu, and the veteran class before me, I'm sorry, I can keep forgetting which one that was. But unfortunately, there are a lot of people whose names are in my head. As I look around and faces that I see, you all remind me of someone else who isn't here. So prayers that those who aren't here through ill health or through ill health of loved ones of theirs, and we've just been hearing about some who wanted to be here but are unfortunately unable, our thoughts and prayers are with them and their families right now. I want to acknowledge and thank a couple of people, Kevin and your good wife, Rosalind. Thanks very much for the privilege of asking me to speak tonight. To Bob Davies, patron, mentor, and Elaine. Good to see you as always, Bob. And to my good mate from the Wairarapa, National Vice President of the Royal New Zealand Return to Service Association, Bob Hill and Kathy. Good evening to you. It's good to be sharing a table with you all. Where do I start? Great confession right from the get-go. when we were driving here in the car, I was still asking Chris and Deb and my partner, beautiful partner Christine, what the hell am I going to talk about? The reason I'm still racking my brain what to say is that when I knew that when I stood up here, when I walked in that door, I would be looking at my seniors, many of them. Many of the people who were my seniors, who are veterans and seniors of my years that I was a snotty regular force cadet, and many people who were staff at RFCU at the time, many people who later on had the unfortunate pleasure, Des, Bobby, a few others, of having to tolerate me, put up with me, mentor me, shape me, and kick me otherwise into a reasonable shape that they could actually say that I was a soldier. To all of you present, thank you for what you did. If you've got any complaints of the way I behave or the way I do my job, it's your bloody fault, not mine. Just shows that you were shithouse instructors. I guess the other thing is that you can't help when you walk in and you see faces, and I know some of us haven't quite got the crop of hair we used to have, and some are a little bit more portly, and some are a little bit more saggy in places and that, and if I struggle to recognise you, I'm fortunate you see my mug on TV so frequently you probably wish you didn't know who the hell I was, but for some of you I haven't seen for 40 odd years. It's been a long time, so forgive me if it takes me a while to adjust my vision because I now wear glasses and finally twig as to who we are, and then forgive me my moment of panic when I realise that you know so much I probably have to kill you tonight if my political career is to survive at all. But then the old grey matter starts flicking away and I start remembering little bits and pieces. I want to also acknowledge that whilst we are all clubbies, we are the favoured few, and most of us are retired or doing other jobs these days. It is very, very pleasing and satisfying to see people still in uniform who are clubbies. And Moo, down there somewhere, I see Moo quite frequently in his role. The current Sergeant Major of the Army, Clive, I don't know if he's here tonight. I haven't seen him. He's a clubbie. Stick, who was CSM A Company in 1971. I see him up at Papakura quite frequently. I'm absolutely staggered that he was, I think he was a veteran then when he graduated, and he's still in uniform today and still with the group. And I just want to pay my huge respects and acknowledge that length of service and dedication to nation and country, because it is absolutely outstanding. To all of you, whether you